This bulletin is coming to you live from our studios here at Kokomlemle in a Crown. Digital address GA0993341 on Joy 99.7 FM. It's also live on Love 99.5 FM in Kumasi, affiliates across the country, on ABN Radio in London, and around the world at myjoyonline.com. The news is brought to you by UMB Bank, UMB Speed Up, DigiBank. Let's go. Coming up, Men's Gold customers demand arrest of CEO of the troubled company as they allege he's left the country, making it difficult for them to retrieve their funds.
This is a breach of investor agreement. It is for government, including the Economic and Organised Crime Office, even Interpol Ghana. You know, this is a lot of people's money.
In Kumasi, a circuit court has ordered that properties belonging to the gold dealership firm be auctioned to pay a customer whose funds are locked up. The company itself has petitioned Parliament over the development. We'll bring you details also. Overwhelming support for Jeremiah Arthur, the boy whose legs was chopped off after a vehicle veered off the road, crashing him against a wall in his school.
Hebsis Gifts and Berry Bears Kids Party Services have travelled from Accra to organize another birthday party for him, but they came with a bigger surprise.
We'll tell you what the surprise is shortly. And no campaigners in areas where government proposes to create OT region petition IGP alleging intimidation and harassment of their members. Details as the Electoral Commission announces state of preparedness for next week's referendum. And with barely 3 days to Christmas festivities, the National Disaster Management Organization wants you to prepare for an imminent earthquake. We'll tell you why, plus what they're doing to minimize the effect of the looming disaster.
We've got sports coming up later in Kumasi as Antikotoko are rallying supporters to fill the Baba Yara Stadium tomorrow in their CAF Confederation Cup qualifier against Kenyan side Kariobangi Sharks.
And fundraising for construction of National Cathedral gathers momentum as tickets for next week Friday's launch go for $1,000 per person. I am Bernice Abubeidulansa. Thanks so much for your company. Some customers of gold dealership firm Men's Gold are demanding the arrest of the company's CEO, Nana Appiah Mensah. They allege he's left the country, making it difficult for them to retrieve their funds. They've petitioned the Attorney General's office asking that they seek the assistance of the International Criminal Organization Police Organization, Interpol, to locate and extradite him to Ghana. Details of that, but first, Joy News' Nancy Emefadradosi was with some of the customers yesterday when they staged a protest to demand payments of their funds.
Desperate, Men's Gold customers have once again besieged the company's jewelry office in Accra. The place has become a scene where angry clients go to vehemently negotiate to collect their investment funds and also vent their frustrations. The once loyal customers of Men's Gold pointed to another broken promise from management made in October 2018. That promise was to pay 5% of locked up investments of clients who registered for their new online trading platform. But again, this did not happen.
The guy tricked some of us. I paid the money, and up to now, that 5%, I haven't got that 5%. And the migration time also has ended. Look at me. I have children. My wife, I have a lot of people that are looking up to me. And now, look at me. The 5% too is here. Instead of them to come and pay me, they are not paying.
But for these police officers stationed at the premises, the situation could have gotten out of hand, as angry customers had planned to block the roads and burn tires. This gentleman sustained some injuries in a scuffle with the police.
I
was here this morning and the police has tortured me. Now I can't even drive my own car. Look at me.
Nancy Emefadradosi speaking to some aggrieved customers of Men's Gold. While in Kumasi, a circuit court has ordered the auction of some of the company's properties to pay up some aggrieved customers. Erastus Asari Donko is there for us. Hello, Erastus. Can you share details with us? Apologies, we are struggling to hear Erastus there, but we'll try and raise him on the line again and bring you details from the Ashanti region capital. Well, lawyer for some of these customers, Amanda Clinton, is accusing the company of breaching its investment agreements.
Another major issue is the SEC. The SEC have said that there is nothing preventing Men's Gold from paying customers, because all the SEC said is that they can't get new customers, but they didn't prevent them from paying people. Furthermore, we would say that this is a breach of investor agreement and not fraud. In terms of, it's the government to decide what's happening with this company. We can't do that. But what we can say is that the investor agreements are very generous towards the investor, and they did that so that a lot of investors would come in. And so the investor agreement said, without fail, you will be paid every month, failing which you can just opt to get out of the agreement and forfeit 25%. Do you see what I mean? So all these things are factors. It's breach of investor agreement, not greed, and not about fraud.
You heard there Amanda Clinton, lawyer for some aggrieved customers of Men's Gold. Let's head back to Kumasi, where we understand the Circuit Court has ordered the auction of some of the company's properties to pay up some aggrieved customers. Erastus Asaridonko is there for us. Erastus, kindly share details of this development with us. Apologies there, we still have a very bad line there. We'll try and rectify the problem. Meanwhile, Raymond Aqua is in the studio with me with a copy of that petition that has been sent to the Attorney General on this matter. Raymond, what does this say specifically about the whereabouts of the CEO of the company, Men's Gold?
So they are insisting that they have good authority that Nana Mensah, who owns Men's Gold and other companies, has flown on his private jet with his family to South Africa as this incident with his company Men's Gold and also one other company, Brew Marketing Consult, is worsening. In fact, they proceed to say that they've also heard rumors that he comes around once in a while to engage in some form of liquidation of his own assets in this case. They are insisting that both Interpol and all the other security institutions they've mentioned there, the Financial Intelligence Center, the EOCO, they should all come together and make sure that they apprehend him and bring him to book.
Well, thank you for those details, Raymond Aqua there. Well, in the last few minutes, we understand Men's Gold has petitioned the Finance Committee to intervene in its standoff with the Securities and Exchange Commission. Parliamentary correspondent Joseph Opoku-Gakpo is on the line with details. Hello, Joseph. Hello, Joseph. Well, apologies, we are unable to hear Joseph as well. But what we understand is that Men's Gold, that's the company at the center of all this, has petitioned Parliament. We'll be bringing you more on this shortly. Do stay with us. And meanwhile, let's do some other stories. He was maimed after a vehicle crushed him against the wall as he waited to be picked up from school in Takrady. He was just 6. He lost his leg in that tragic incident. Now, as sad as that was, there appears to be some hope. Barely a week after joining the Hotline documentary, A Boy's Wish, there has been massive support for Jeremiah Arthur as he turned 9 this week. There's been a big surprise for him. Manasseh Azuri tells you more in the following report.
If there are days Jeremiah Arthur will never forget in his life, then the 9th anniversary of his birth will certainly be one of them. On that day, he became a car owner. Some individuals who were moved by Joy News documentary on his plight surprised him on Tuesday with a birthday party in his class. Today, Hebz's Gifts and Berry Bear's Case Party services have traveled from Accra to organize another birthday party for him, but they came with a bigger surprise. They presented a taxi to help transport Jerry to school and perhaps serve as an income earner to help in his upkeep. Freeman Mensah is Jerry's uncle.
The support has been massive ever since your story broke. Almost every day you get someone calling that, oh, I've read Manasseh's story, I've looked at the video on YouTube and I'm willing to give this and that.
It's been 2.5 years since Jerry lost his leg in a gruesome accident and had the remaining leg fractured. The situation has left the family with unbearable financial difficulties, but the Joy News documentary on his plight is turning the situation around, at least for now.
We have had a couple of people who have called and said that they are ready to come on board with some NGOs or other organizations and personally make sure that they will contribute to get the prosthetic leg for Jerry. Thanks to Joy News for traveling all this way to come and cover Jerry's issue and making sure that all over Ghana, everyone hears it, and we are so grateful. We are so grateful. It's giving us hope that whatever we hope to give to Jerry, now we can do it.
Jerry's journey to achieving his goal in life is still long and uncertain, but the benevolence of corporate entities and individuals has provided a ray of hope to the family.
I want to say thank you and God bless you.
For Joy News, Manasseh Azore Arena reporting.
You heard there a report put together by my colleague Manasseh Azure Awuni. He's still in Takari and says there's more support for Jeremiah. Moving on to some other stories, the National Disaster Management Organization is asking Ghanaians, especially those living in earthquake-prone areas, to prepare for a looming disaster. In a statement issued by the Director General of the lead disaster management body, it's stated that its preparedness to come to aid of all affected persons is high. Raymond Aqua joins me with more on this statement. We'll be getting more on this details on this from my colleague Kojo Yankson. Instead, Kojo, do we know why NADMO is issuing this caution?
Well, Bernice, the organization refers to the recent earth tremors that were measured at 4.0 on the Richter scale. And they sound as a caution for citizens to, and I quote, prepare for any imminent occurrence of earthquake disaster. And they also add that NADMO and its partners are ready to help mitigate the effect of any such occurrence on the citizenry.
And what else is in this particular statement?
Well, NADMO included some warnings against indiscriminate setting of fires, inappropriate use of electricity and electrical appliances, drinking and driving, as well as road traffic indiscipline. They also talked about some plans for next year, including a Catch the Young project in various basic schools, as well as some assurances for staff of NADMO regarding the regularization of their positions and improvement to their working conditions.
Okay, before we move away from this story, let me just bring you some more details, because we've seen a map of Ghana detailing the earthquake risk zones of southern Ghana, and we have the highest risk areas include Ho, Akosombo, and Sawam, Weija, Tema, Accra, Botiano, Kokrobite, Nyanyano, Fete, Winneba, in Koko, Salt Pond, Cape Coast, Elmina, Sekondi, and Axim. And those in Koforidua and Sawam, Pando, and Takwa are just quite safe, but they are also in dangerous areas. We'll bring you more on this, especially from NADMO, to find out what they really mean when they say they are prepared for this looming disaster. No campaigners in areas where government proposes to create the OT region have petitioned the Inspector General of Police, alleging intimidation and harassment of their members. According to the One Volta Group, at least 4 of their members have been arrested in the last week alone for encouraging others to vote no in next week's referendum. One of them, an 80-year-old man who is against the proposal to create the OT region. We hear from the leadership of the group, who've just concluded a meeting with the IGP shortly. But first, Parker Wilson joins us from the Electoral Commission headquarters, and we understand that the Electoral Commissioner, Madam Jen Mensah, has been talking about some flashpoints and what they intend to do to deal with potential conflict there.
I think that we have, for instance, within the North Gonja districts of the proposed Savannah region, we have Mamprugu and Mankrala communities there. We have also Sankore and the Asuna, 4 districts of the proposed Ahafo region. And we also have the Dambai township in the proposed OT region. But we do have a number of flashpoints, because I think what happens is, even the initial letter that we wrote to the Ghana Police Service, specifically the Inspector General of Police, we mentioned a number of flashpoints. But as we noted, we have some coordinators, referendum coordinators in the field, who are updating us on a weekly basis. So even currently we are writing to the IGP again with an additional list. So I believe that until we get there are new areas coming up, all the time. Quite recently we had the curfew in Boli. Initially it was not part of the list, So these are things that we are adding on, periodically. So we are not able to tell you immediately how many flashpoint areas we have.
You heard Chairperson of the Electoral Commission, Jan Mensah, there talking about her commission's preparedness ahead of the referendum slated for December 27, 2018. Well, we are about to speak to Togbe Hotamaho Ahmed Zakat III. Now, he's one of the leaders of the One Voter group, and we understand that they've been meeting the president. But before that, let's speak to Kwesi Parker Wilson. He was in that press briefing where Madam Jan Mensah spoke. Hello, Parker.
Hello, Benny.
Yeah, what more have we been learning from the Electoral Commission with regards to the referendum next week?
Well, Benny, according to the Electoral Commission, they are prepared for Thursday's referendum. In fact, they are saying that all items and materials needed for all the activities in relation to the referendum have been procured and dispatched to the affected regions and the district. And they are talking about BVDs, and according to the chair of the Electoral Commission, each polling station will have 2 BVDs. Now, in addition, provision has been made for backups at the regional and district offices of the Commission. So all BVDs meant for the referendum have been dispatched to the affected regions and districts as well. So for them, they are very, very, very ready for the coming exercise, the referendum on Thursday.
Thank you, Kwesi Parker Wilson, there with details of that EC's press conference. Let's go back to our earlier story on Men's Gold petitioning Parliament. And Joseph Opoku-Gakpo joins us on the line. Hello, Joseph.
Hello, Benny.
What exactly does Men's Gold want from Parliament?
So they're asking the Finance Committee of the House to intervene what they say is the matter between them and the Securities and Exchange Commission. And they make reference to the directive from the Commission that they should cease the trading of their gold collectibles immediately. You recall that directive earlier in the year. And they're asking that the committee should intervene so that then they would resolve that issue. And then they can provide a comprehensive plan to pay off completely all customers. They also pledging to halt the online migration activity that they started, and that they would hold the gold collectibles trading as well if the House goes ahead to intervene and resolve their issues with SEC amicably.
And what has been the response from the Finance Committee?
Well, the committee has indicated that they got this particular petition earlier this month, signed by one Ofe Nanayao, who is the corporate manager for Men's Gold on behalf of the CEO, Nana Mensah. But they say they are busy with issues having to do with the budgetary estimates, which they are focusing attention on for now. When they are done with that, they will deal with the Men's Gold issue.
And when they are done with that is when? Because we understand that they are going on recess for the Christmas break.
It's actually tomorrow when they would go in on the recess. And they would actually finish dealing with issues having to do with the budgetary estimates tomorrow. So the expectation is that after the Christmas break, even when the House itself is on recess, the Finance Committee that the petition came to would look into the issue and respond appropriately.
And, Joseph, what other issues have come up in Parliament today?
The House just passed the budget for the Office of the Special Prosecutor. An amount of 180 million Ghana cedis has been given to them and it's been approved. In debating the issue, the ranking member on the Legal Affairs Committee raised an issue that there is an issue of personality clash, which he says is an ego issue between the Special Prosecutor Martin Amidu and also the Attorney General, that's Gloria Kofo, which he said there is a need for it to be dealt with as soon as possible. Again, the minority are raising issues with an allocation of 30 million Ghana cedis in the 180 million budget for administrative expenses, which lawyer Roxin Dafiamako, a member of the Legal Affairs Committee, says the Special Prosecutor failed to give a breakdown of when they discuss the issue at the committee level. So he wants them to really look at that as well.
The expenditure under management and administration, there is an allocation of 20 million cedis for other expenses. And the same other expenses, an amount of 10 million cedis is located for the operations under anti-corruption management. Mr. Speaker, the Office of the Special Prosecutor was unable to give the expenditure details for these allocations. And I thought that it is very interesting because, you see, even the Office of the National Security Coordinator brings its budget and tells us how it intends to spend monies allocated to it. And I expect the Office of the Special Prosecutor to operate in a very transparent manner, because it is an office that we are empowering to go and fight the canker of corruption in respect of other public office holders.
So that was from Parliament. You're listening to the Midday News on Joy 99.7 FM with me, Benis Abubeidou-Lansa. Still to come, some Ghanaians refute President Akufo-Addo's claim that government's policies have translated into monies in their pockets.
We are not feeling it in our pockets. I've seen good policies in place, but translating into money into our pockets just like that, I don't think that magic has worked yet.
My name is Kwame Sefakain, and most of you know me as a media personality, but I am also a family man. The UMB mobile banking app, UMB Speed App, saves me so much time by letting me do almost all of my banking transactions on my phone. The cardless withdrawal feature allows me to withdraw cash from any UMB ATM without an ATM card. I can also pay bills, transfer money, request for a loan, invest money, and so much more. So now, I can spend less time at the bank and more time with the ones I love. Bank anywhere and anytime with a UMB mobile banking app, UMB Speed App, and get the time to do what you love most. Download the UMB Speed App from your Android, iOS, or Windows phone today. Call 0302-633-988 for more information. UMB Speed App, Digibank, let's go!
On Thursday, 27th of December 2018, from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., all registered voters of the Ahafo, Bono East, North East, Savannah, Western North, and the OT areas will go to their various polling stations
to vote yellow for yes or brown for no to decide whether the new regions should be created or not.
All registered voters in the proposed areas, as well as persons who transferred their votes to the areas, are eligible to vote. If the device fails to verify you as the person on the register, you will be taken through a manual verification process once you have your details in the register and the biometric verification device, BVD, has successfully scanned your barcode. The voter will then be issued a ballot paper, which will require the voter to vote
either yellow for yes or brown for no.
After receiving the ballot paper, the voter must proceed to the voting screen and vote for only one issue.
To vote yellow for yes or brown for no to decide whether the new regions should be created or not.
A voter can talk to the presiding officer if they have any challenges. Remember, the voting process will be at the Hafu, Bono East,
North East,
Savannah, Western North, and the OT areas on Thursday, 27 December 2018 from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Vote early to avoid any disappointment. Your vote is your power.
Ho, ho, ho. It's the time you've been waiting for. The JoyFM KTK Fever. Continuing the tradition of the best disco mixes and dance moves from the 70s and 80s. New venue, same intense experience. Happening on Boxing Day, Wednesday, 26th December, from 9 p.m. at the Omanya Hall, Labadi Beach Hotel. Tickets selling at 150 Ghana cedis at the front desk of JoyFM. Reservation hotline 0540-106-466. Come and enjoy the welcome drinks, the dance, munchies, and late-night hot pepper soup. The JoyFM KTK Fever is sponsored by Stanbic Bank. What's your thing? Use Stanbic online banking on the Stanbic app to transfer money instantly, buy airtime and data, pay bills, and do a lot more at your leisure. Do your thing. Stanbic Bank, moving forward. And proudly brought to you by your superstation Joy 99.7 FM. The JoyFM KTK Fever. Let's boogie.
Thank you so much for staying on the Midday News on Joy 99.7 FM. Ridwan Asante is here with the latest from the world of sports.
You know, did you follow hockey in school? Because that's
I actually played
of
hockey.
Infants. Okay, of Infantsman.
No, at Akosombo International School.
Oh, not Infantsman. No. Oh, then you missed out because I think hockey really got its steam in senior high school. You know, but there's hockey news and hockey news for you, and it's very, very good because we've got some good news coming in from Abuja, where the male and female teams of Ghana Revenue Authority have reached the final of the 2018 Hockey Africa Cup of Club Champions. Now, this morning, the Royal Men beat Kazakhstan 2-1 to advance to the final, and they will face serial winners El Shaki of Egypt. Assistant coach of the team, Charles Moses, is in high spirits of winning gold.
We are more confident. We came here in the name of Ghana and GRE, and we make sure we represent Ghana and GRE in the highest level. We go on this match on high confidence. Coming here, we set ourselves a target. We have achieved that, going to the final. And the bigger one is to win the trophy.
Yes, and the ladies also from GRA, they beat Telkom Orange of Kenya 1-0 to progress. Checkers of Bank of Ghana will be vying for the third place in the men's division against Eastern Company of Egypt. And Police Ladies will also play for bronze against SUIU. Football next, and Kumasi Asante Kotoko will be playing against Kariobangi Sharks of Kenya in the return leg of the CAF Confederations Cup. It's been tagged the Red Invasion by the Porcupine Warriors as they want massive attendance at the stadium. Love fans, Delali Atiasi has more.
Officials of the club have used the last few days trying to psych the supporters on why they will have to part with a little more at the gates on Saturday for the match against Kariobangi Sharks. Some leading followers of the club have also volunteered to pay for tickets for students of some tertiary institutions to mass up at the stadium, while some radio stations have also been allocated tickets to share to callers of various sports shows. We are expecting a large number of fans at the Babayara Sports Stadium on Saturday. Meanwhile, I have been interacting with the chairman of Sharks, Robert Muanga, who tells me, indeed, they have had some advice from their Ghanaian friends on what to do to beat Kotoko on Saturday.
We have serious analysts who look at games and then tell us how to play. So it's not about the fans here telling us. I mean, Ghana is a footballing nation. Football is loved everywhere. So you'd expect people telling you what to do because that's a passion of football.
You heard the chairman of Sharks speaking to Love FM's Delali Atiase. That's all for sports. Join us at, is it? Party? Family in the Park, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so will it be there?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, Ridwan Asante. Now, fundraising for the construction of the National Cathedral seems to be gathering momentum as tickets for launch of the edifice sells at $1,000 per person. A member of the Board of Trustees for the Cathedral, Reverend Dr. Paul Frimpong, revealed this in his Christmas message to Joy News. Government's decision to demolish buildings, including residences of judges, to make way for the construction of the cathedral has been criticized. But Reverend Dr. Paul Frimpong says they'll go ahead with the launch next week, Friday.
We thank God for putting the burden on the President of the Republic to build a national cathedral as an edifice to demonstrate our gratitude and appreciation to God. The President is officially launching the program on the 28th of December at the forecourts of Independence Square. We are asking churches, Christian leaders, and individual Ghanaians to come and be part of this luncheon. In appreciation to God, this luncheon is going to attract some fees. And the fee is about $1,000 per ticket.
You had a member of the Board of Trustees for the National Cathedral, Reverend Dr. Paul Frimpong. So now it's barely 4 days to Christmas, and I know that you may be preparing to get the best deals in some of Accra's markets. But it appears that there's not enough disposable cash in the pockets of many Ghanaians, contrary to President Akufo-Addo's claim when he met journalists.
Electricity prices have gone down significantly. All of these key indices, food prices, the budget of the average household, it's gone down significantly. People are no longer paying secondary school fees for their children. All of these are the things that are also taking place in this cry of there's no money in people's pockets. I think if most people stood back and saw their pockets, they would see that there's far more money in their pockets now than there has been for a very long time.
But on the streets of Accra, the sentiments are different.
I've seen good policies in place, but translating into money into our pockets just like that, I don't think that magic has worked yet. Usually such statements will go to anger some people.
We are not feeling it in our pockets. This is the second year, and so the third year, the fourth year, I think we are going to see changes.
All our monies go into transportation. In terms of the real impact of the so-called policies, we don't feel them at all.
You heard there's some Ghanaians. It's now time to know what's trending. Mapito Sibiri is here.
Hashtag the Wache Summit is trending at Lee Young J says the Jollof hype we tie with a come hype Wache, and at Arnold says don't buy 5 CD worth of Wache, buy 2.50 pesos 2. And this one is from at Adam Rains, who says Wache is best served in them leaflets. Hashtag Wache Summit.
And do join us tomorrow at the Legon Botanical Garden for the family party in the park. Tickets are going for 25 CDs for a family of 6. Just pick one here at the front desk of Joy 99.7 FM. And that's how we end this edition of the Midday News. There's more news when you log on to myjoyonline.com. I'm Benis Abubeidulansa. Do enjoy the rest of your day.